The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out the graduationparty.org if you want to get yourself or a loved one some mathematics tutoring that's high quality, highly accessible, and highly affordable. You know, very affordable, we'll say. But moving on to the news, you actually have Antonio Gutierrez. You're talking about the Secretary General of the United Nations saying that we need armed action, calling on the international community to intervene in Haiti because there's been a lot of violence and instability going on in the country. You got a bunch of people protesting. We're talking about tens of thousands of people protesting in the streets, trying to get the Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, who's backed by the United States, by the way, put in there after the assassination of the former Prime Minister. They want him out of there. No Ariel Henry. They don't want any international involvement. And this is, as I have reported to y'all yesterday, how the United States and Canada are sending military equipment to the country to actually handle the violence that's going on. Gangs basically shutting down the whole country. And they even had this blockade over on this port where there's like causing a shortage in food and gas and in water, getting that out to millions of people in the country. You know what I mean? And it's even hurting them with fighting the cholera outbreak. But at the same time, people don't want any international intervention. You know what I'm saying? They rejecting the weapons that the equipment that the U.S. and Canada is sending. You know, you could put quotations over the word equipment, you feel me? Military equipment, you dig? But that's what's going down, yo. Shit getting real. You know what I mean? Peace and love to all my Haitians, you know what I mean? Because I know people got people out there, so, you know what I mean? It's a real situation. Green Wall graduation, though. What the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report over in Ethiopia. You actually have in the Tigray region. This is a region I told you about in the past. They've actually been warring with their home, the federal region, with Ethiopia and Ethiopian soldiers. Now you have them having a 17-month blockade on places where it basically caused a food and medicine shortage. You have 1 million people said to have be at risk of starvation, and the situation is getting worse. You have in northern Tigray rebels saying that troops from Ethiopia, with the backing of soldiers from Eritrea, their neighboring country where they made peace with over in recent years or whatever, has actually been going in there, and they seized this key city that's called Shire. So you have thousands of people leaving the city feeling like they're going to be subject to like mass murder and rape, basically. Like the area's getting pillaged. Essentially, you have with the United Nations saying the situation is spiraling out of control, but the head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, he's actually Tigrayan, and he from Tigray and shit. And he said that they're carpet bombing the city, basically laying out a carpet of bombs in the sky, like, you know what I'm saying, leveling people out. So, you know, it's a crazy situation over there. If you are gonna consider and have a heart for certain genocides, you know what I'm saying, be wary that be wary of all of them. Green Wall graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report over in Ukraine. They're going through a dire situation, getting beat up on by Russia right now. And over the past days, they've been attacking the capital, Kyiv. I might not be pronouncing it right, but it's spelled K-Y-I-V. And today they actually launched some long-range attacks that ended up damaging critical infrastructure in Ukraine. You're talking about, according to Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, he said that 30% of the power stations in the country were actually destroyed. So it's causing a ton of blackouts throughout the country. And the attacks cut off like water and power supplies. And so, you know, you got millions of people over there not actually receiving those things. And then 2 people were said to have died. This is a day after 5 had died from these drone attacks that were said to have taken place by Russia. And keep in mind, the other day I told you, they identified those drones, a lot of those drones as being kamikaze drones that are actually made by Iran. But Iran denied actually supplying weapons to Russia in this situation. But, you know, shit getting sticky, you know what I mean? Because in the United Nations, you had Iran actually voting for the annexation of certain parts of Ukraine by Russia. You know what I mean? One of 4 countries that did vote for that shit. So shit's real. Green Wall graduation though. What other New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Yo, Russia is not playing fair. All this fair and love and war apparently, because they are just straight taking over Ukraine in a way that you might have heard about an invasion in your history books. But this is happening present day. Over in Ukraine's culture minister actually reported that there a prominent 46-year-old orchestra conductor, Yuri Kirpitenko, was actually shot and killed in his own home by Russian soldiers in the occupied city of Kherson. That's spelled Kherson. He was apparently murdered because he refused to take part in a concert that was seen as a celebration or an approval of the annexation of Kherson by Russia. Now, an investigation by the Associated Press has shown that thousands of children in Ukraine have actually been deported to Russia or Russia-occupied cities and given citizenship, lied to about, their parents not wanting them and all of that, and then used as propaganda and given to Russian families. So it's real over there, man. As far as people coming down on the United States government for giving money over there, I mean, it does seem like it's a gross amount, but it's like, what are your solutions though for this shit? Like, do you have the answers? You don't got the answers, Sway. Cut it the fuck out, man. It's not a simple solution for this, because this is the move of this again was to keep Ukraine from joining NATO, and a lot of presidents on both sides of the aisle have had contributions to that decision. So you know what I mean? Be wary and intellectual in your discussions about this, because there's real people's lives that are at stake. It's real bondage taking place. You know what I'm saying? Biblical proportions. Green War and Graduation. This report of the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. You know what I'm saying? All out war going on in Ukraine with its when dealing with the invasion of Russia, and you actually had a Russian fighter jet actually crash into a building near the Russian and Ukrainian border, and it ended up killing 13 people, including 3 children. And there's footage out there on the net of this crash. One of the pilots of the jet was actually able to eject right before the plane crashed into the residential building. You know what I mean? Really saw one cause it to go in a crazy flame. This was in the town of Yeysk, Yeysk. Now, also on Monday, yesterday, they had another prisoner swap between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine getting back 108 Ukrainian women who were held as prisoners of war, while Ukraine then sent 110 prisoners to Russia, which included like sailors that were actually on commercial boats before they were captured, all the way as early as February. Green War and Graduation. This report of the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So at the Kremlin in Russia, in Moscow that is, you had a spokesperson for Russian President Vladimir Putin actually say that the 4 recent territories that have been annexed by Russia and Ukraine, basically the territories in Ukraine that have been taken over by Russia, are under the protection of Russia's nuclear arsenal. Basically, if y'all European and American motherfuckers come over here in Ukraine acting like this shit is Ukraine and it's not our shit, you gonna get hit with the kaboom. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that happening, this is taking place while NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the paramilitary group that contains all of these countries, including the United States and Canada and the United Kingdom and newly Ukraine is setting up to get a part of that, because this part of why Russia invaded Ukraine. NATO is actually conducting nuclear war games over the North Sea, over the United Kingdom, over Belgium. Now they have this thing called Steadfast Noon, where they're basically taking out B-52 bombers, you know what I'm saying? Them gigantic planes with like 10, 12 engines on it that send long-range missiles that you might have seen in like your old Civil War films and documentaries. You have, and they also have like new style fighter jets and weapons that are on display and being used and practiced with. Now, in response, Russia had its own military exercises, nuclear military exercises called Thunder, that they now are executing, and they're practicing it in the northeast region, on the northeast coast of Russia. This is basically where parts of NATO exist, like you know, Finland, which recently became a part of NATO. So Green War on Graduation. Report out of the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So fucked up situation that's happening in Nigeria, where you actually have flooding over the last few weeks from a lot of heavy downpour, a lot of heavy rainfall that's actually been killing a lot of people. The government of Nigeria said the official death toll is at 600. 600 people said to have died from the flooding going on over there. 266,000 acres of land said to have been having been inundated, you know what I mean, haven't been flooded or whatever, in a time where like farmland is vital. Already food prices were soaring, and you know there's a lot of food insecurity. Now you also had 2.5 million people said to have been impacted and over 80,000 homes destroyed. With Nigeria being kind of like central western Africa, and going through this, it's ironic to know that in the east side of Africa, they're actually experiencing crazy droughts throughout the region of East Africa, where you have the British charity Oxfam saying, they're warning that like, yo, every 36 seconds, somebody is likely to die of hunger from now until the end of the year. So very dire situation over there in the motherland. You know, what are our people going to do about it? You know what I mean? Because we keep letting these other people try to intervene, and they end up just exploiting, don't they? Don't it seem like, I'm talking loosely, but in the abstract, but don't it seem like that? Green War on Graduation. Streets reporter of the New World, or the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So, the United States Supreme Court actually rejected an appeal that was brought up that actually looked into granting U.S. citizenship to citizens that are born in American Samoa. This is a territory that is occupied by the United States. Now, they also rejected looking into the insular cases, which are a set of federal laws derived from these cases that people consider racist, where it basically have been used to legally justify discrimination against people from some of these U.S. occupied territories like American Samoa, like Puerto Rico, and other occupied territories. However, American Samoa is the only U.S. occupied territory where somebody is born there and they don't automatically get U.S. citizenship. So you had they can only apply for U.S. citizenship if they move to the United States mainland. Now, you have John Fatisse Manu, who's one of the plaintiffs for the suit, actually saying, you know, it feels like a punch in the gut. I was born in the United States. I have a U.S. passport. I pay U.S. taxes, and yet I'm not considered a United States citizen because of some racist federal laws. Green War on Graduation. What do y'all think? Well, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you got, coming from the White House, President Biden basically saying that he's going to host Israeli President Isaac Herzog next week. And this is coming a week before legislative elections are supposed to take place out in Israel. So, you know, some politics at play there. You know what I mean? Israel, especially the right wing of Israel, they know they have a lot of support over here in the United States. Let's keep it a stack. But on the left wing too, we ain't even gonna make that partisan, but it got taken out of control with the President Trump actually moving the U.S. embassy for Israel from Tel Aviv, which is like the official capital of Israel, to Jerusalem, which Israel had recently claimed is its capital. Now, mind you, Jerusalem is occupied by Israel as well as Palestine. And it said that Israel has actually illegally occupied East Jerusalem since 1967. So this is why over in Australia, you actually had the Prime Minister over there reversing the decision made by the previous Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, of recognizing the Israeli capital as being Jerusalem, or being it's essentially West Jerusalem. So this reversal was pretty much, and you know that Scott Morrison's decision to do that kind of came on the heels of when Trump had actually moved the U.S. Embassy and officially recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, which sparked a lot of outrage in the international community. So, you know, stay woke. I want to hear from the Israelis and the Palestinians, though, or the Jewish people that exist in the United States. I mean, how do y'all feel about that? What do y'all think about that? These holy wars going on, are they not? Green War on Graduation, though.